Hey everyone, let me tell you something interesting that happened the other day. I went to a work-related training seminar. You know, one of those professional conferences where everybody is very well behaved. We are very polite and nice and we choose our words very carefully. It's like if we dare to say something that has a little more personality, the other people in the room are going to drop dead on the spot. So we are all like these harmless little dummies walking around the space. If you've ever worked in any office outside of your home office, or if you've been to any of those business networking event, you know what I'm talking about. People call this being professional. That's why being a professional sucks. So it was 9 o'clock on Monday morning and everybody looked bored and dead. If you haven't noticed, this is what most of us look like most of the time. Dead. Then the organizer of the event came up and said, just to break the ice, each person, please take turns and introduce yourself. Tell us something that is little known and non-work related so we can know you better. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. Now I'm really getting to know people. But no. Because in the next 20 minutes, I watched people stood up one by one and these harmless fun facts about themselves that don't bother anybody started coming out of their mouth. I like cooking. I'm a good photographer. I have 3 kids and I live in Silver Spring. And some people just rattled off their professional bio downloaded right from their company website. 20 minutes into this, I had enough. I thought, I will have to change this. Otherwise, I will probably throw up. So when it was my turn, I stood up, took a deep breath, and I said, okay, here is one little known non-work related fact about myself. I lost my virginity when I was 23. And as soon as I said that, the entire room just went quiet. And a few seconds later, people started giggling. So I continued. I said, I grew up in a different country, in a very traditional environment, where people think sex doesn't happen until you get married. Otherwise, it's very uncool. And that had always been my belief until I came to the USA, where I suddenly realized, oh, I was a virgin and this is so uncool. So to fix this problem, I seduced a good friend of mine. I thought it was a one-night stand, but I grew attached to the person. So one day I picked up the phone and I called my mom, who still lives in China. And I said, Mom, I'm seeing someone. And my mom, who's a very nice lady, was very happy to hear this. Oh, darling, how wonderful. Tell me about this young man. So I said, oh, this is so-and-so, and he is so great. Then I mentioned, he is black. My mom suddenly got so mad. Oh no, you are not doing this to us. I disapprove. And I was so shocked because I never realized my mom, who has never seen a black person in her entire life, is a fucking racist. And as soon as I finished the story, the vibe in the entire room totally changed. People were laughing, stretching, falling off their chairs. The whole room relaxed. And there is a new sense of freedom and genuine connection. And the new vibe lasted the entire day of the workshop, and we ended up having such a great time. The conference organizer came up to me, gave me a big hug. She said, wow, thank you. I've never been so awake at 9:45 in the morning. Now the reason I'm telling you this story is because there are some lessons to be learned here. Number 1, being professional is overrated. We humans long for connections no matter where we are, and building authentic connections with people makes you a whole lot more effective in your professional life. But you're not going to establish real connections by hiding who you are and keeping a professional facade. So get out of your professional suit and be yourself. Number 2, share your stories. Human beings love stories. We connect through stories. We can't help it. It's part of our DNA. If you want to know someone, tell a story. If you want to persuade someone, tell a story. If you want to get a promotion, win a client, attract a love interest, tell a story. A story is often more effective than 100 spreadsheets. Number 3, dare to be vulnerable. When I was talking, my judgmental mind in the back of my head is ringing this alarm bell. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, what will people think of me? Oh, I'm being politically incorrect. Oh, I'm such a shame. Danger, danger, danger. But ironically, what I feel as being vulnerable is in fact the safest place to be. I didn't feel comfortable telling the story of how I lost my virginity to a bunch of strangers in a conference room. And I'm not saying that's what you should do. But my point is, when you choose to be vulnerable, when you choose to abide by your truth, no matter how uncomfortable it is, you are in fact as safe as can be. And that's often where your power of making an impact comes from. Because vulnerability, authenticity is in short supply in a world full of bullshit. That's why people value it. We love it because you remind us who we really are. You make us feel a little bit more free. So anytime you do something or say something that makes you feel vulnerable and uncomfortable, just remember that you are making the world a little bit better. Of course, by telling your truth, it's possible that you will make enemies, but you will make 100 times more friends, I guarantee you. So that's all for this week's Banana on Fire. See you later.